So I almost died Thursday before last. But I'm gonna tell you what God did. So Monday, God had been laying it on my heart to talk to this girl that I had went to school with, and I seen her walking up and down the road and stuff. And God said, the next time you see her, I want you to tell her this. And so the night before, which was Sunday, somebody had told me something that one of my kids had said, and it just really upset me. And I was laying in the bed till like 2 o'clock, 2:30 a.m. crying, because I allow myself like a time frame to be upset, and when the kids are in bed, that's just the best time. So I got up that next morning, Monday morning at 6, and I was getting everybody ready, taking them to school and stuff, and it was pouring the rain. It was horrible rain, and I'm rushing, I'm running late. I get the older kids to school. I'm on my way to get the little kids. They're almost late, and I see that girl, and it's 8 a.m. and I'm like, God, if she is still here, I'm dropping them off really quick because they're gonna be late, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna tell her what you said to tell her. And so I do that, and she's not that far at all. And I did go a little faster trying to get back after I dropped the kids off. So she had gotten maybe a football field farther up the road, like in one length. And I pull in and I'm like, hey, can I give you a ride? And she's like, yeah, that'd be nice. And so I'm taking her to where she lives, and God laid it on my heart to tell her this stuff. And then I'm like, I tell her, and I can feel when I'm telling her the love that God has for her, like so deeply, how much He loves her. And I'm like, I'm going to a revival tonight. Do you want to come? I can pick you back up where I drop you off at 6 o'clock. And she was like, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. And so I'm like, I'm really overwhelmed with joy. And I'm like, that is awesome. I said, I'm gonna be honest. I said, God told me to tell you this. And I was like, God, I'm the last person that she wants to hear this from. She ain't gonna want to hear this from me. We had drama 15 years ago because we knew each other 15 years ago. And I was like, she's not gonna want to hear this from me. And she looked at me and she said, if I had heard it from anybody, I would want it to be you. And I was just like, that is awesome. God is awesome. So then I go to pick her up. She's there, and I take her to church. And I don't know if she gave her heart to God or rededicated her heart. I'm not sure, but she did it. And then she was praising Jesus, and I could just feel the love and the overwhelming sense of joy, because I don't know, like I could feel how happy he was. And so then I go to take her home, and after I asked her to church, that's the part I missed. After I asked her to church, she said she'd go. I heard water fast. So I assume I needed to water fast on her behalf, praying for her and seeking God for her, that whatever she needed done in her life, that God intervene and He help her. So I did that. I water fasted that entire day. So that night, and that night, but on the way home, I heard 3 days. So I was like, okay, God. So I assumed, maybe it was for my kids, because I was going to bring my kids the next night. And I did. And God showed up, and everything I had asked Him to do, He did. He had, I was praying that they just line all my kids up and then just pray over them and stuff. And they did. I didn't tell them that. I only told God that, and I didn't pray that out loud. It was something I prayed inside my heart. And then Wednesday night, I was going to bed, and I was thinking, man, I want tutors. Because the next day would be the end of my 3-day. So I was like, I'm going to get tutors, little tater, and I'm going to eat that whole thing. And I'm going to eat the biscuit too. And I was asleep, and I heard 3 more days. I woke up. I was like, God, was that you? Did you? Yeah. Okay. 3 more days. So Thursday night, I went to the revival again, and my belly started hurting, so I unbuttoned my belt, because I didn't know why my belly was hurting, and I was praising Jesus, and I was just doing my thing, And this pain come over me so bad. I felt like I was going to pass out. It shot into my shoulder. It was in my belly, into my shoulder. It was horrific. So I went to the bathroom and it didn't stop. I went to the car. I ended up calling an ambulance, and they took me first to this other hospital closest to me, and they put me in the ER waiting room after I arrived in an ambulance. And I was there 2 hours, hadn't been seen. Finally, my people was like, we ain't having this. We're taking her somewhere else. She's not even been seen. She's crying hysterically. I was in so much pain. I couldn't explain it. I didn't know why I was in pain like that. And so they rushed me to Charleston. And within 30 minutes, I had a room. Within an hour, they were having me drink contrast to get a CAT scan. And then after that, I was in emergency surgery. And it was rough. My intestines, I guess, had been leaking into my stomach cavity, and I could have died. And the surgeon said, because I'd let them know, I had been fasting just in case, the surgeon said, I don't typically condone fasting for someone who's had gastric bypass, but in this case, it saved your life. Instantly, I knew God saved my life. I didn't fast because I wanted to fast. Who wants to fast? I fasted because He laid it on my heart. And when He laid it on my heart, I did it. And that is why I'm here. That is why I'm alive. That is why I didn't turn septic. That's why I'm here, is because God. And I give Him all the praise and the glory for that. But I had to tell you about why I was fasting, what led up to it, the process of what was actually going on, so I could get to the big picture. God knows what we need when we don't know. God knows what is going to happen. We don't know. And if we are feeding ourselves things of the world and we're listening to too much garbage, if we're watching too much garbage, if we're speaking too much garbage, will we hear when God tells us in a still small voice to do something? Or will we miss it? I don't want y'all to miss it. I thank God I didn't miss it.